All right, guys, here we are with giveaway car number 8. This is a 1993 MR2 Turbo chassis with 1996 Viper GTS blue metallic paint. We're running Bilstein struts, some TN springs, Avid AV27 double stagger, 17-inch front, 18-inch rear, obviously drilled slotted rotors. This car has Greddy side skirts, Aerowear front lip, Greddy rears as far as the body kit. Auto Pista wing center section, running our standard Motoria 3-inch exhaust, very shiny and very noisy. Obviously the 94 tails, and then where the exciting stuff happens underneath the engine bay is our standard Gen 4 3SGTE treatment. Here's the heart of the beast. So our Gen 4 3SGTE, it's got our upgraded X-brace here, obviously our super shiny intercooler pipes. This Gen 4 is running a Gen 3 CT20B turbo, which is basically the same thing as our upgraded CT15B. 300 wheel, 16 pounds of boost, our standard upgraded side mount intercooler, our standard intake. Nothing really crazy else going on there besides all the stuff that just works. We also have my new favorite sticker, which is, let me guess, license to registration. All right, so inside, nothing really crazy. It's a stock interior for the most part. The cool parts are right here in the center console, which is our super classy upgraded shift knob, shift surround, and shift boot. And then also that nice little blue stitched e-brake cable boot as well. All right, so this is the inside cockpit here of the giveaway car number 8. We're going to have an amazingly low mileage 108,000 mile chassis to start with here. We're running the 94-95 steering wheel. And then we have obviously the required mechanical boost gauge for the needle, and then our AEM True Boost electronic boost controller, which works as a gauge as well and does all the cool flickering lights. Obviously, last but not least, the audio component in MR2. Obviously, the engine's the best audio component, but the head unit in this is the Kenwood Bluetooth, so you can use your phone, do all the cool fancy stuff. We've got some upgraded speakers, so you can listen to your tunes if you don't want to listen to the amazing engine noises. And now Mr. Regular is going to come out from behind the camera, and we're going to take a drive. It's just a unique driving position. So unlike an old Italian car. Like you were way back, but the steering wheel was still in your chest?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the difference new bushings make.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. E-brakes on.
Thank you. That wing's different than the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, it has like body connectors between the wing to like smooth out the line.
Yeah, so this wing is the factory sides and then just the Auto Pista center, whereas the last wing you saw was the whole Bomac single piece wing that eliminated all the factory stuff.
So where should I go?
We're going right.
Okay. I have like an 1/8 of a tank.
Yeah, we got plenty.
Okay.
The gas gauges aren't the world's most accurate thing on these.
So I'm gonna wait. Before, when we drove your last one, it was in the middle of a heat wave, so it was already almost up to temp. This one is still cold, and you don't want to thrash an MR2 until it gets up to temperature.
Yeah, they'll get up in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
It's pretty quick even when it's colder out.
Guys, I think I'm gonna cut here really quick until this thing gets up to temp, because I know what you want to hear. Okay, we are off the peg. The engine temperature is rising. So am I free to give it wah? All right, I'm gonna go down into third. That's the, oh. This one, the exhaust is definitely louder. But again, not as loud as I thought. Put it into fourth, put it into fifth. I'm hearing more of the exhaust, less of the turbo. Well, no, there it is again. It's just everything just more louder, and now we're behind a Camry.
It's always the Camry.
Is that a Camry?
Yep.
I think that is.
And gray Camry.
if you put it in a classic American car, like if it could, well, it all it takes is money to do anything.
That's right. Time and you got enough time and money, you can do anything.
Right.
That would be beyond our scope of expertise, but there are guys that have put them in silly things. I think there's one guy with a Pantera.
Yeah.
That has a 3S in it.
Ooh.
I mean, there's like a number of weird things that have 3S. So.
Were there any 3Ss that were put into, or that were mounted longitudinally?
Yes. So the Gen 5 3S GE Beans Altezza was in the IS200 in Japan, basically our IS300.
Okay.
But that had a 2-liter longitudinal dual VVTi. It was the most high-tech of the 3S series engines. They never boosted them from the factory.
Oh.
But a friend of ours actually got an FRS in the early days and put that motor in it and then boosted it.
And?
I mean, he left stock internals, so he was only making what this car makes, like 300 wheel.
Yeah.
But it was in, you know...
You went up to about 100 horsepower.
Yeah. Well, and about 150 foot-pounds of torque. So, yeah, I mean, it was a happy car. It was a happy car. Interestingly, that FRS was blue.
If only that engine would have been in the FRS from jump.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the FRS was just a Subaru.
Right.
It was a special Subaru, right?
Yeah.
But it was a Subaru. Toyota just financed it and then marketed it.
Right.
But the reality of the platform was because the entire car was engineered around having a ridiculously low center of gravity flat motor.
I almost stalled it. Sorry. Go time. I get scared a little bit when this thing comes up. Oh, fuck me. Thank you for doing what you do, Justin. Anyway,
we a couple smiles. You know, they call it smiles per gallon.
Yeah,
that's what this guy's got. Yeah, so this is, you know, the 3S is, because it was, you know, it's an 80s.
I wasn't even looking at the boost gauge, I was just listening to it.
Yeah, it's just running 16 pounds.
Okay.
That's usually what we have them run, because then you got some room before 18-pound fuel cut. So even when it's colder, you generally won't, you know, hit actual boost cut. But even if you do, on the Gen 4s, it's just like a modern car. It'll just whack off boost cut and go boom, like you hit like a deer or something.
Yeah.
But you let off and you can keep driving, it's normal.
Okay.
The Gen 2s, you would literally have to turn the car off and turn it back on again to reset the computer.
Oh.
So like that was unnerving if it happened like in the middle of the corner. And then, you know, you turn the car off and the steering wheel locks. Then you gotta turn it back on, unlock the steering wheel. I'm not gonna say that's happened to me before. I'm not gonna say it's not happened to me before. Back in the early days, before we had the Gen 4 in the real world. Because Brian, you know, my business partner, he came out with this idea for the swap like 7 years ago. We then started doing them roughly 6 years ago. And everybody was like, oh, you don't need it. It's just a good noise. You gotta love having the turbo directly behind your head.
I know. Everything about...
You don't need a million horsepower on one of these, right? This is 300 wheel, and this is faster than most guys should have.
Yeah.
But you know, like to go to the next 100 wheel, you're gonna spend like 20 grand. So it just doesn't make any sense.
There's this really good meme on the Sloppy Mechanics page, and it's Johnny Bravo's face.
I love that too.
And it's the caption is when you let a guy drive a 400, like I forget the wording, it was very efficient, but it said everybody says they want a 500 horsepower LS motor, but they're used to driving 250 horsepower cars, but when you let them drive something with 400 horsepower and it's just, whoa mama. You're like, we're coming from stuff like I think my Falcon feels fast. It's only 200 horsepower, but you get into something with 400 and it's like, oh, and this is 300 and it's just on that limit of being uncontrollable, but it is.
Yeah.
Like you can give, and I'm so glad what you're doing is, I wanted to say vending machining out the perfect SW20 for everybody. This is what you need for a street driven thing that you can just drive, and Oh, I'm in 5th gear. Oh, I'm in 4th gear.
Yeah,
there's the build. 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 Now we're coming on it, and I'm up.
CRV.
I'm up the ass of a CRV.
But yeah, I mean, up a hill, you know, 2,000 RPM, like, you can put your foot down and it will just pull.
Yeah.
Like, the Gen 2s, you literally, it would go backwards. Like, you had to downshift or the car would just stop going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what you're talking about, where this is really like, this, and in our opinion too, I mean, I've done it a million times, and I still love it. Like,
You've been doing this for 10 years.
It just doesn't get old.
Still.
But this is what we call, like, all things to all men.
Yeah.
Like, it's as fast as you want it to be fun. It's not so fast it's undrivable. But if you put it on a track, things get more interesting.
Yeah. Oh, if only we had the cash, like, you could bring one of these things to Harris Hill. Monica Harrison would just love this, because I'd be scared of Harris Hill Road. You can either call Harris Hill one of two things. Either Harris Hill Road or Harris Hill Raceway. I think the correct designation is, because it's a road course. It's a road course that mimics a real road in that it has off-camber corners. Its road surface is smooth in some areas and rough in the others, and that's really down to budget, but it proves that you need proper suspension, and your crazy hard coil over rock your bones isn't going to work here. You need a suspension that's going to work with the surface. And also, it's a road where high horsepower doesn't save you.
Yeah.
There was this moment, oh, I don't want to spoil this because this video is coming out before the, I can't spoil this. Sorry, guys. But there was a very wonderful moment where a normal car was in the rain creeping up to an exceptional car.
Yeah.
Because it was a combination of road surface. Road surface, front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive, and driver skill.
Yeah.
But I wish I could put Monica Harrison in something like this.
Well, I told you, we can go to 2 or 3 times a year, my wealthy friends, rent out NJMP or Pocono, and we can go there and do whatever we want, however long as we want. It pays to know people who, you know, have lots of money and really cool cars, but we could bring one of these. That's what we used to do. Originally, how we beta tested the Gen 4 was we took just a junky 91 turbo chassis, put the Gen 4 in it, put it on coilovers, put on some race pads, and put the Gen 4 in it with like still like the stock cat, and like it was not maxed out to efficiency.
Yeah. Making
like 250 wheel, and I would crap all over my friends in Lambos and Porsches and all kinds of other fancy cars.
Please.
Mostly because obviously they're not generally willing to go as hard as I am in my, at the time, you know, $6,000 car.
Yeah.
And they're $100,000 cars or $200,000 cars. But also the difference between driver, like I'm not a professional driver, but I've been racing my entire life, and I've been racing MR2s my entire life. So what I can do in an MR2 versus what they can do or are willing to do in their fancy car is pretty close or better. So like they would, you know, not enjoy when we were on the track at the same time, because they would have to wave me by if they didn't want to get black flagged for blocking a faster car. But they'd get to the straightaway and be like, look at me, I have 600 horsepower. Yeah. And then by the braking zone of the first turn, you know, I'm all over their bumper, and eventually they would move over. But yeah, we can do that. It's like, it used to be twice a year. I think they do it 3 times a year now. Yeah. So the next one will probably be March. But it's a heck of a time. A lot of cool guys.
Thank you for everybody who's watching this whole video, because this is slowly turning into a road-going podcast between myself and Justin. We should get that wireless mic and just put it in here one time. Freddie Hernandez from the channel Tavares used to do this, have on-the-road podcast where people would just yak.
Oh, well,
it's a good thing to do on road trips.
Jerry Seinfeld's entire show, Comedians and Cars Getting Coffee, is 50% that.
You see his, and he's got like 4 GoPros, and then they have the guy shooting from the outside.
Yeah.
I wish they spent, like everything, I wish they spent more time talking about the car.
Yes.
You know, it's a guy who has an opinion about the car, because then it turns into a good one. But when it's someone who's just, oh, that's a neat, I like classic cars, but doesn't know anything about them, like, oh, okay.
Well, maybe we.
How did I get more gas?
The float may have been a little sticky. Well, actually, this is a new thing. We're going green.
Oh, okay.
We're actually creating fuel as we drive it. Suck on that, Elon Musk.
Oh, maybe we were on an incline coming out of your... that happens in my Falcon. I gain and lose gas. Yes. Because it's...
And if it's real low, you can actually do it by turn. You know, not in this car, because the float's right in the middle of the long cylinder type fuel tank. But no, I think we could come up with that. We could do not comedians in cars, not getting coffee. That's not copyright, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I wish he would do more, because I love that show. Yeah. But
because you can tell he knows so much.
Oh
It's the same thing with Leno. Like back, all he really wants to do is talk about cars, and that's where he really comes alive. Yeah. But when he has to do a show with someone who couldn't care less, or almost worse, the person who knows like 3 flavors of cars, but then tries to say, I like, that has a double pumper. It's like, well, first off, that's a Carter carburetor. Those aren't doubles.
But I read that
because Holly does make carburetors that aren't double pumpers, just because it's such.
Funny how they do that.
Like, what is a double pumper? And they go, it has 2 pumps. Yes. What type of pump? The electric kind? No.
No electricity here.
No.
Electricity here.
Sorry.
It's like running on diced squirrels.
Yeah.
Quiet back there. Never mind, don't be quiet.
It's going to be a long time before this technology is going to be obsolete, because this is the marriage of everything you wanted in the 80s and all the safety of the early 2000s coming together perfectly.
Yeah, in fact, this car has been the impetus for a lot of requests for cars like this that we would sell. So we're actually going to start doing basically like clones or replicas of giveaway cars, and then put them out for sale via Facebook ads. So people will be able to see them if they've seen our other videos, and then we'll basically build waiting lists off of that. Because we have 5 guys right now that want this car. Yeah. But you can't buy this car. But we can build you effectively the same car, just with a different chassis in the beginning.
Right. It's perfect, because what you're creating is, here's the car. What do I got to do with it? Turn the key.
Yes.
It's all done for you.
It's turnkey, classic car, turbocharged motor.
Yeah.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
But that's always what we set out to do from the beginning. Like, there are guys who can build faster MR2s than us, and we don't pretend there's not. Right. What our cars do every time is work. And while there are really fast ones that work occasionally, or even all the time for periods of time, it's just not generally a sustainable thing for somebody who can't fix a problem on a car that wildly built.
Oh yeah, now I'm watching the boost gauge. There it goes.
Like, this is effectively just an 4-cylinder turbo engine. Yeah. There's nothing crazy about it.
Turbo.
It's got 5 sensors. It runs on premium fuel. It's got 4 spark plugs. Yeah. It's not rocket science. We used to actually get a lot of questions when we would build customer cars back in the day. They would say, well, you know, what do I need to know about maintenance? I'm like, have you ever had the oil change in a car before? Yeah. All right, well, you're good. Yeah. You're good.
Do that.
We already did everything.
Do that. Premium gas, change your oil on time.
Do that. Yeah, don't put any regular fuel in it. All right, that's it. That's your only no. And in the rain, exercise caution with your right foot. Yeah. Because the rear tires, they're happy.
That's the one thing, taking an MR2 on the track, I've never felt one rotate.
And it's fun.
Is it?
Oh yeah, well, on the track, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just spin into the grass.
Oh.
Especially if you're at NJ&P. Or Pocono, really, for that matter. Well, Pocono has the wall, obviously.
Yeah.
But NJ&P, like, you could loop the car in so many different places, and all you do is either a spin on the pavement, which my dad loves to do in my cars, because he's used to his 4A GE Mark 1, where you can put your foot down at any point and nothing happens.
Okay.
Whereas he comes out of a corner in this on cold slicks, and around she goes. So he'd come back in after the first lap, and
these brakes are good.
I'm like, Dad, you just went out. Like, why are you coming back in? He's like, I lifted. I'm like, Dad, control yourself.
Hello.
Good morning.
Shit hanging from the bottom. Maybe leaves?
Could be.
It's just a big ass leaf.
Okay. One for the road. Well, thank you, Justin. It was always a pleasure coming by here. Thank you for doing what you do. And thank you for everyone who watching this sort of half podcast MR2 Toyota general purpose talk.